Welcome everybody to the Return to Play podcast. I'm here with Melanie, a energy and lifestyle coach here with us. Coming on board here soon. We've got some exciting things to talk about today, mostly focused on energy and lifestyle things that you can do to help make sure that you're living the most energy-full life you can and you're not stuck feeling like I can't move, I don't have the energy to go play with my grandkids, I don't have the energy to go take the trips that I wanted to do now that I'm 60. My body doesn't really allow me to go travel because now I have medications I have to bring with me. I have movement considerations that I have to deal with that I wasn't really planning for in my early adulthood. And that is something that we're really trying to help everyone understand, is the importance of doing these things earlier rather than waiting until you're 60, 65 when you now have the time, but now your body has retracted so far back to where you're digging out of a pretty big hole. Instead of being a little mindful of this over the last 20, 30 years, you could be in a much better position when you finally have that extra time to go travel. Your body will be able to do so. So I wanted to have Melanie on and have her give us some thoughts. I know she dabbles a lot more with lifestyle pieces that one can do to help boost their energy levels, and my background between the nutrition and movement side of things and the physiology that ties it together. We're going to have a good conversation to hopefully help you figure out why you may be dealing with the low energy side of things rather than feeling full of energy day to day. So I wanted to give Melanie a couple of moments to give us some background and kind of what she does day to day with her clients, and we'll kind of get on from there.
Yeah, I'm Melanie. I'm from Germany, and I deal with people come to me who feel stuck in life, who are low in energy. They don't know why, because they are doing everything correct. They work out, they take care of their nutrition, but something feels off. And that's when we dive deep into their life, into their thought patterns, into how they wake up, into their everyday's life, and find the energy drainers in their life and find a way how they fill up their energy tanks, because this is what I realized through going through. I was a trainer, I was a nutritionist, and now I bring everything together into this, energy. It's all about energy in the end. If your energy bucket is low, you will suffer from injuries, you will suffer from sicknesses, you will suffer from being tired all the time. And facing this energy bucket, this is what I do in workshops, in everyday's life with my clients, and that's why I'm probably here today.
I love it. It's one of the harder things to help people understand is why they've gotten to the point that they've gotten to where they feel this way, and it can feel really hard to get back. So I know there's a lot of people that are out there that are kind of lost in the I don't know what to do based on me and where I'm at. So we're going to hopefully go over a few scenarios today and a couple of actionables that you guys might be able to take away and hopefully feel like you're adding some energy back to your day-to-day. So I think you mentioned it, some of these energy drains. What are a couple that you find are some pretty prevalent ones that you have people realize, and it's like a light bulb in their head? They're like, oh, I didn't think about that as being a drainer.
Oh yeah, it's about their surrounding. This is a big part. Their surrounding of the location they are at. They are not in tune with nature anymore. Society made them really isolated, or being around people that are not truly fitting to who they want to be. And I think a big energy trainer is people lost the connection to themselves, and they don't really know anymore who they are. They lost their authenticity. And this is where it all comes down to. Most of the time they don't know what can they eat, what's their kind of movement. They don't know what are their type of hobbies. And this is mostly a big energy drainer when they feel wrong.
In their bodies.
Yeah.
That's a good simple way to put it, I think. And that's something I feel society puts a lot of pressures on people and kind of makes you feel, oh, I have to be this type of way or that type of way. So I think we had talked about right before we started filming that it's good to be weird.
Yeah.
Embrace the weirdness, because those are usually the things that make you unique, that you should emphasize, because that will usually lead to the doors that open for you best for you when people know you. If you're having to kind of hide and be this someone else's version of you, you don't feel good because you can't be true to yourself. You're now putting on an act. That act is draining. So if you're one of those people who just feels like, I'm living somebody else's life right now. You've probably gone down the, decision after decision after decision of doing what someone else wants you to do, not what you want to do. And this is a huge thing here in America where people are very...
Not only in America.
Probably not only here, but I find people here don't have hobbies. Like, it's very rare to find someone who's got a hobby that's not going to the bar and drinking or just watching other people play sports.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah, and then they feel very athletic by supporting others. And it starts, I feel, also already in the childhood, because we get taught what is right and what is wrong. So, when you remember, you came to this earth and you were playful, you were yourself, and then you got taught all these things. Then you started this job, you had to work hard, you got all these belief systems planted in your mind that brought you more and more and more away from who you really are. And then you wake up one day and you're like, who am I? Like, what are the layers that life put onto me? And now it's about getting rid of the layers step by step.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. And this, I think, is a very good piece for us to start on, which is the whole being true to yourself. Sometimes if you're not doing that, that's a ton of energy you're expending, because every social interaction is forced. Every conversation is based on what that person wants to talk about, not what you want to talk about. You fall into these different cycles of fitting into the mold rather than being your own mold and engaging in activities that you really like. You might go to these sporting events because your friends want to go, but like, if you really don't like being there, you're spending a lot of energy doing something you don't want to do.
Oh, you did this as well in your life?
I think we all have had definitely a number of opportunities where we've been in that situation, and it's sometimes hard to go against the mold if you're like, well, I actually don't like watching football, but like all of your friends, that's all they want to do every single Sunday, and you just
what you do.
Go along with it. Like, well, maybe there's another friend group you can hang out with on Sundays. Doesn't mean you can't not be friendly with those guys still, but maybe there's another activity you go do on Sundays that fills your cup rather than drains it a little that day.
And you inspire maybe others then, because maybe in this group there are others that also don't realize that they really don't like it. So if you start to do something else, I realized this, like friends of mine, they started to work out as well. And they realized like, oh, it's not that weird to work out after work. It's like you inspire people by being different.
That's exactly right. So that's, I think, best thing we could have started off with, which is just finding a way to be true to you. And what is it that you're doing in your day-to-day that doesn't feel like you, but someone else has imposed this thing on you, and just kind of do an audit of your day in your week. How many things am I doing that are not really things that I want to be doing, and just make little notes of it. Some of those things you might be required to do. If it's part of work, sure, you're going to have to deal with it. If it's, a family member passed, there might be a funeral. You're going to have to do it, even though you might not want to have to go to a funeral. It's a family member, so you have your obligations. There's going to be points in life where you have to do things you don't want to do, but that doesn't mean live every day doing things that you don't want to do, to a point where you no longer know what you want to do. I actually have had a lot of people, when I ask them, what are your goals? How can I help you? What do you want in life? Like, how can I help you get to this thing that you haven't achieved yet, whatever it is, skill-wise or body composition or whatever? It's hard for people to say what they want.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. They don't know an answer to that question. They're like, I want to lose weight because other people are telling them they need to lose weight or this or that, and that person's not ready to make the change until they want to lose weight. So that's something I've had to deal with. I'm sure you might have also, which is, someone came in the door, they hired me because someone else told them they should do this, but they haven't made the shift in their head that's like, I'm ready to do this and I want this. And until they make that switch, sometimes the results don't really come until they've had that acceptance of the new journey.
Or the root cause of, they think, oh, this is what I want, but deep down it's something completely different that they want. They don't want to lose weight. They want to be able to play again, to feel their body again, because if you have so much weight, you cannot really feel anything, So they want to feel themselves again, but then instead of going to a crash diet, they can start with little things. Don't overdo it. Like, you can start feeling yourself when you brush your teeth. Okay, get the feeling of brushing your teeth. Like, it can start slow, and this all adds up to then losing weight.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does. And those little actionables are what you're going to be able to keep up with that will actually help the results fall into place. And it really is that mindset shift first, I think, which is really be honest with yourself. What do you want in life? Starts with a self-reflection. All of these journeys do.
Yes.
So whether it's a weight loss journey or a lifting journey or a skill pursuit journey,
I agree.
all of it is, do you actually want that skill? If you don't want to do a handstand push-up, don't train to do a handstand push-up, because you're going to be feeling like you're doing something that you don't really care to do.
Yeah.
Once you find the thing you want to do, you'll do anything possible to keep getting better at that thing. And that's where what we do here at St. Pete Calisthenics is great, is we help reposition your focus on the skill you want to get better at, not I just want to lose 10 pounds. We want to help you find those tangible goals that we can attain that just eventually the weight loss will happen. Because you're so addicted to getting good at a handstand now that you're training 5 days a week, that will result in the weight loss.
Yes.
Not you wanting to lose weight, so I'm just going to go to the gym 5 days a week. You don't see that as fun, so you're probably going to talk yourself out of it 2 or 3 days that week. So now you maybe only went in 2 days a week versus I'm addicted to handstands. I'm doing 5 days a week. I'm doing 2 calisthenics classes, a hand balance class, an animal flow class, and a balance class. Like
finding something that's fun to you, that that sparks something inside of you.
That's the energy piece.
Exactly.
So that excitement is where you get a little energy. So if you wanted to kind of find where this is coming full circle now, being true to yourself, doing the things you want, gets you excited. That's another way to think about this. Do you get excited about anything?
Yeah.
Some people don't.
No, the whole day is no excitement. Even the weekends are just stress for a lot of people.
And if you're kind of realizing, oh man, that might be me, I don't really look forward to anything, that's a very big sign that you don't have a hobby that is, you know, encouraging you to stay into doing anything. You don't have a structure in your friends or family system that is really anything that you are improving on. So you're just kind of maybe drinking on the weekends and family gatherings. You kind of have some social time, but other than going to work, coming home, and eating, like, tends to be not a very exciting life.
And it's very hard for, that's what I realize in my everyday's work. Like, people, it's really hard to find something that excites yourself. Like, if you're in this trap, like, you don't really know, but what would excite me? Because you got so used to not being excited anymore. And this is where it comes like, okay, just try things. In this moment, you need to force yourself a little bit to try something new. I start sometimes like once a month, do something that you've never done before, to just learn different things. And then you feel really quickly, okay, this is not for me, but you know, I tried it. But other things, they stick to you, and then you open up or go travel, do something new. And it doesn't have to be a whole week. It can just be 1 hour a day, like, or listen to something that you've never listened to before. Like, it's these little things. People always think they have to change their whole life in order to feel better. You know, if I got promoted, I will do this. No, this time will never come. You will never have the time to do things you want unless you start now with the little things.
1000% agree. So, step one, have that talk with yourself. What do I want? Am I doing things that align with what I want? If not, that's your first thing, I think, to address.
Yeah.
The second biggest thing, I think, is probably nutrition, which a lot of people are probably familiar with that aspect, but you know, you are what you eat. And if you're eating inflammatory trash, you're gonna feel like an inflamed piece of trash.
Yeah.
I've never really said it in that way before, but it's actually, I kind of like that. If you eat in a way that adds building blocks for your muscles, and you eat in a way that adds lubricant to your joints, you're gonna feel amazing. That's why we need protein and we need fats.
And to add on to this, it's not only what you eat, you become, it's more what you can digest. You become what you can digest, because you can put in the best food of the world. If your gut is messed up, you are not able to absorb it, because you see it like you put it in, and if it's not getting absorbed, it gets out again. So you need to take care of the gut first in order to put everything into the body and into the right places where it belongs to.
Right, and that gets into bioavailability of foods and your body's particular ability to digest those different types of foods. So like lactose intolerance is a really big one. You're missing an enzyme that would allow you to have dairy. So now you have to restrict dairy because you don't have an enzyme you could take an enzyme as a supplement to allow you to eat dairy, the lactate pills or some of those other things. Not my favorite thing, because your body is telling you, hey, this isn't necessarily for me. You're kind of forcing it. So that's to each his own. If it works for you, great. If you find it doesn't work for you, then maybe it's not worth pushing through that.
And a lot of people don't even realize that they are lactose intolerant. They think, no, it's fine, because a lot of people think it's normal to poop only once a week. Like, this is not normal. You should have a regular outlet, you know?
Yeah.
Like, do you say it like this?
I almost frame it for my clients. I'm like, the amount of times you eat in a day should be about the number of times that you go. If you eat 3 big meals, you might have 2 or 3 opportunities for that. And then if it's 3 meals a day, but you only go once a day, there's some kind of backing up that's happening. So a little bit of the listen to your body, how does it feel, and eat based on the way that makes you feel good, not because so-and-so said I should eat this way, or ideology tells me to eat this way, or it worked for them, so it should work for me. We're all very individual, and our nutrition demands are very unique to ourselves, and the only way that you're going to know how to eat for yourself is to listen to what you feel after you're eating things.
And to be really honest, because a lot of people think, no, I feel great after burger and fries, but I think the step before listening to your body, how it feels, is like learning to feel.
Yes.
Because if you are not in tune, if you wake up in the morning and you just react to life every day, you don't really know how you feel in the morning and how you feel after food, because then your brain tells you, no, I feel great, because of course there are neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine that make you think you feel great, so you keep doing these things. But if you slow down and really ask yourself, how is my body reacting to it? Do I get inflamed? Do I have skin issues? Do I have like other pain, inflammation markers? Like, you need to learn, I think, also to listen to your body. Otherwise, you can be tricked by what you've experienced in the past and what you've learned.
I just had a great conversation with my client Linda this morning. I have her going through this book called The Hungry Brain. Are you familiar?
Oh, no.
This could be a good book for you then. But it essentially teaches you how to understand your brain and your real brain, right? Yeah. Brain 1, brain 2. I actually...
Or 1 and 2.
Flip it. Yes, I was going to say, this book kind of helps you realize that it's the other way around. This is brain number 1. This reacts to your environment, sends a signal to your brain, tells your brain, hey, I need this. If this is sending the wrong signal, your brain is going to grab the wrong piece of food. So if you're listening to brain number 1, you're going to want cake, chips, cookies, all the bad things, because it tastes delicious. This brain wants that. This brain doesn't need that.
Exactly.
So this brain tells you what you need. This brain is often fooled by what it sees around and what it wants, because things taste good and that dopamine response.
Yes.
She had a breakthrough, and she was like, I got to this point where he talked about how the first bite of those types of foods is like, bomb goes off, just a hit of whatever, I feel amazing. Second bite, half is good. Third bite, another half is good. It's like each bite gets less flavorful. So why are you going to have 30 gummy bears? Maybe you'd be fine with 2. That's 5 calories. Gummy bears are only bad if you eat the whole damn thing. There are ways to indulge in some of these types of foods without the worry that it's going to blow you out of the water. Yeah. I married a chef, let alone a pastry chef. So I eat sugar a lot, notably. I will say it on camera. But I am mindful of how much I eat in a sitting. I'm mindful of how often I eat it. And I'm mindful of moving enough throughout my week to allow myself the calories to be able to eat that stuff and not worry about it.
Yeah, because sugar goes through, and if you right away use it, it doesn't get the chance to be stored somewhere.
Exactly. And that's another way that I kind of try to encourage my clients to think about food, is like, what is it doing for me? Protein, everyone knows that. It's helping me build muscles. But it does more. Hormone regulation, all of these other things that can be tied to metabolic processes that help you function, you need protein for that. For fats, we need those for lubricating joints. We need those for cellular efficiency. We need
hormones.
We need cholesterol. Hormonal regulation. The cholesterol, we need cholesterol to transport fat molecules throughout the body to the liver for digestion. So if you're purposely dropping your cholesterol, you're dropping your fat metabolism, which means you're likely going to build body fat now because you have less transporters pulling fat molecules off of your stored body fat.
Yeah.
So fats are necessary so that you can still be able to metabolize them. And then the cholesterol is just a byproduct of you eating fat content. The more saturated fat you eat, the more cholesterol you might have to transport that fat. It's not a bad thing.
Exactly.
Seeing that number go up, actually in the blue zones of the world, you will see most of them have higher numbers of cholesterol because they eat fish and all these other omega-rich things, olive oil. Huge, but that's gonna lead you to have a slightly higher cholesterol number, not associated with the cardiovascular risks as much as was once thought.
Yeah, the high cholesterol that we are facing here is mostly because cholesterol is used as well to repair the blood vessels as well. And these blood vessels, when they are not properly, because of too much sugar without movement, there are certain things why the vessels are damaged, and then your body produces more cholesterol. And it's not the cholesterol that's bad, but it's why does your body produce so much cholesterol? Because there's something wrong, there's something else. It's maybe too much stress, too much sugar without movement, these things. And this is the root cause. It's not the cholesterol, it's not the sugar, it's the root causes of what is going on in your body.
That cholesterol number is one marker.
Yes.
Right? There's lots of markers to look at when making these educated decisions, and trusting one marker for anything, I think, is not ideal.
No.
So that kind of brings us to what you mentioned about sugar being that easily accessible energy source. One of the things I find is a lot of people feel like they need to eat X amount of carbohydrates, but they're not moving hardly at all throughout the week. So I was describing it to Linda this morning. I was like, it's like you're sitting at the gas station, pumping your car full of gasoline, but it's pouring out of the gas tank.
Yeah.
Your body is full of energy. You have body fat you're trying to lose that should fuel you. If you're constantly eating carbohydrates, your body will naturally burn those carbohydrates for energy and then not touch your body fat. And now it's not touching your body fat. You're not eating fats, so your body becomes less able to digest fats. So now you're in metabolic syndrome. You have no ability to use all of these nutrients anymore. Your body freaks out when you don't have any carbohydrates. You feel your blood sugar is crashing, so you cave and you grab a piece of toast.
Yeah.
Whereas
you just
should have
fuel into it. Woo!
Exactly. You're just riding the waves
yeah.
over and over and over. And it's really understanding that, okay, I need this macronutrient. I need this macronutrient. Carbohydrates is kind of the one that would be less necessary because you can live on a very low carbohydrate diet.
Depending on your activity level.
Exactly. If you're weightlifting a lot, you probably will need the carbs to fuel the workout. But if you're overweight and you're lifting, but you're fueling your workout with carbohydrates ahead because you think you need it for energy, I would advise you to rethink what's happening here, because you should be able to get through a workout without needing to carb load before your lift, especially if you have 30 pounds to lose. You just may suffer a little bit on your performance of that workout. But if you're lifting for weight loss, why do you care about performance?
And that's exactly what is the society, all these programs out there, marketing makes you believe that you need certain things. And to do something because you think you need it, it comes out of this anxiety. Oh, I need this, otherwise I cannot work out, I cannot sleep, because if you react in this anxious mode, you will never feel good. You need to ask yourself first, okay, what do I want? Or what does make sense right now for me? You don't need anything. I did a long for some people it's not long, but I did 88 hours without any food, and I felt so amazing. And that made me realize I do this sometimes with certain clients. You cannot always fast, but not everyone is, in the condition to fast. But some people, you can try it, and then you realize it does a mindset shift. What you said earlier, it starts in your mind, because when you realize, I don't need anything. I could just live by water, and I feel amazing. I was really going hard in the gym, and it makes a click, you know?
It's a big aspect of our return to play assessment, which is taking you from, okay, these are my known limitations, these are my goals. We ask you, what are your priorities to help make sure they align with those goals? And then we ask you, what do you think you need to get to those goals? And then we help you understand, what do you actually need? Because like what you're saying, a lot of people are bombarded with all this marketing material. Oh, I think I need that, I think I need that, I heard I need that. Based on your situation, I actually think you need this, and you need this. So our assessment is designed to help you sift through the weeds of all of what you've heard, figure out where you're starting from, and help you actually figure out what are the things that are going to help me based on where I'm at the most at first. Like, yeah, these other things you may have heard of that you think you need, like, yeah, maybe they're good, but maybe that's only going to help you 1%. The thing that I'm going to point out might help you 12%.
Yeah.
It's better to start with the 12% than to be worrying about the 1% of, oh, I didn't have my protein shake 30 minutes after my workout, so it's not worth having it. No.
So true.
Little rules like that are just ideal scenarios. The world does not work in the ideal world, so just understand those benefits if you can make those timings, but don't stress out of the fact that, oh, I missed my window for my protein, now it's not worth it, my whole day is ruined.
Yeah.
Now you're stressing out about it, you're freaking out, you're gonna
lose
spiral.
the muscles really, like, because you're stressing so much. Yeah.
It just feeds into the cycle. So it's more understanding to a point where you can take action most effectively. And that's what we're here with this podcast and with our training that we're doing here at St. P. Cali, is really trying to help you figure out, like, what do I need based on where I'm at? Because there is a lot of jumbled up knowledge out there that can be confusing at times. So I think this nutrition one is a big piece, especially with our the food pyramid getting flipped around a little bit a week or two ago. I'm sure almost everyone has probably heard about that by now, but meat and dairy is equated importance-wise now with the new food pyramid, up there with fruits and vegetables. I am so happy to see that, because the way that I've really tried to encourage people to eat is all about how you feel. It's not about ideology or so-and-so said this. It's how do you feel when you eat, going back to what you were saying, which trying to learn how you're supposed to think about things internally so that you can understand what you're feeling. Sometimes people are too externally focused. They don't really have that tap into them piece, which is one of the hardest things I can coach, but it does take a little bit of effort on the individual's part. So if you're someone who's like, I don't like meditating, or I can't meditate, or I can't sit still, or I can't do this, you're likely a very externally powered person. Those who can meditate and sit still and be okay with silence.
Big thing.
Find those moments where you can enjoy and embrace the inner thoughts and listening to what you want. Because again, if you're only externally influenced, you're going to wake up one day realizing, I'm living a life that's not really me.
Oh, yes. And I heard once, like, if you cannot meditate or sit still, because meditation is always just like, oh my God, what do I have to do? No, if you cannot sit still for 5 minutes with yourself, you need an hour. And this made me realize, like, wow, that's so powerful. Yeah. Because we can only act in life if we have the silence to reflect and to check in with ourselves, We sometimes, when kids are too loud, we say, like, go into your room and calm down. But we ourselves, we don't do this anymore. We are just, we have to do this all, more. Yeah.
It's very draining. So those that's right. Those are the two biggest things I would agree, is being honest with yourself about what you want, so that now you can eat to fuel the activity or the sport or the thing that you want to be able to do, whether that's build more muscle or learn how to surf or play tennis again, whatever it could be. You now are fueling that activity appropriately so you can get better at that activity. Sometimes getting into the gym isn't enough. If you're not eating right, the progress in the gym is not going to be nearly as good as it could have been. So understanding the food component, I think, a little bit first is very helpful. And then starting to shift gears into, okay, now my lifestyle, day-to-day activities.
Sleep. Yeah.
What
sleep
can be the
another,
things that I could pay attention to? And I think that's the biggest one, is starting to think about your sleep, because that's where the body starts to recharge.
Yeah.
I'll let you take a little moment and talk about sleep. What is your big things that you find people have a hard time with when it comes to getting good sleep?
So it starts in the evening, to wire down. This is already the preparation for sleep. People think, oh, I have to sleep now, but I can't. So I take melatonin, or what can I take? No, it's sleep is a process. And from this active day, we are exposed to so many things out there, like social media. Every time there's something going on. And if you come from this world, come home, and then you expect your body to just fall asleep, of course it's not working like this. So you need to implement a little evening routine where your body feels like, I can really calm down. And then because that's also what happens, because there was so much stress during the day, people start craving things at night to refill their energy. And then they are binge eating full, and then they try to sleep. But now your digestive system says like, wait, we cannot sleep. We have to digest this first. Or you wake up in the middle of the night because of your blood sugar spikes. Like, you need to understand your day first in order to prepare the sleep. And I think this is what I realize, it's the hardest part for most of my clients, to allow themselves to calm down without doing anything. Yeah. Because we are so in this doing mode. And then to prepare the sleep. The sleep and the quality of sleep is just a result of what you did before. Is not something active you can do, and this is what I need to do to. No, it's a process, and it reflects how you deal with your energy, how you deal with your stress and your nervous system. Yeah, these are my thoughts.
Yeah, I love it. It's a big challenge when I've had clients that are I'm not really good at meditating. I don't sleep well. I feel like I have no energy during the day, but all the energy at night. It's kind of twofold. There's a couple things. The nervous system is very out of regulation, right? So they're feeling the parasympathetic on in the daytime, and then the sympathetic or the fight or flight takes over at night, because usually their day is just so busy that they can't actually process the stresses that they're dealing with. The second work stops, all the other stresses start coming to mind. So they're thinking about all of oh, my kid needs more money for his college, this and that, or so-and-so needs to get dropped off here. That's going to get in the way of my errands I was going to want to do this afternoon. So you're thinking about all the stuff that's going to happen tomorrow because you didn't get to it today because whatever was going on. So you're just in this cycle now. Your body's tired during the day, and then your mind is awake at night. Your body's tired in the daytime, and your brain is awake at night. And it comes down to your ritual at nighttime, I think, as you were saying to start, which is, okay, I left work at work. I'm at home now. What is it that's stressing me out at home? Is there something I can do about it? If there is, take some action. If there's nothing you can do about it, try to not let it stress you out. That's a huge element that...
The perspective, yeah.
Exactly. It's a perspective and a mindset that is this, oh, well, this is really not okay, and I don't like this, and it's, not the way that I would do it, or so-and-so did it too fast, there's no way they did it right, so you're stressing out about coming in tomorrow and seeing like, I'm going to have to fix all the stuff that they did. But it's really resetting and getting your brain to understand, okay, if I don't have any control over that thing, maybe it's not worth me wasting my brain power on trying to solve an insolvable problem or something that's just, it was on the news and I saw it and it's really nothing that I can do about it, but 4 years from now I can maybe vote on something. That's a big one, the election stuff. People get really, really worried about all of these really macular things that really boils all the way down to now their immediate world is super severely impacted because they're worried about all of these other global things that, yeah, there's something to be paying attention to, but if it's not directly in your control and you're in one of these spirals, it's good to try to separate that stuff that is out of your control from the stuff that's actually in your control.
And I feel if you do this, to step into this, like if you cannot control anything, maybe to also ask yourself, what is it showing me? Because sometimes things that are happening to you, you think it's happening to me, it's just a reflection or a mirror to yourself. Okay, where do I have to look into? Like if there's too much pressure from the outside, if my boss is always coming at me, okay, where am I probably also too much demanding of myself, and if you change your inside, sometimes, or most of the times, I would say always, something will change in the outside. And these are also big steps, like to change the perspective and to see, okay, if I cannot change it, maybe there's a reason why it is like this. What can I take? And not to blame yourself or things, but to say, like, what can I do today to change it internally, the perspective or whatever, yeah.
It's huge. There's a book that I like. It's called Extreme Ownership, which kind of goes into that. This book is more talking about, like leadership roles and the ability to, manage other people and stuff. But I think it also relates to your inner dialogue a little bit and understanding, well, maybe it's this way because of what I've done and what I've put out. People expect this, so this is why they're giving me this type of a gift. Like if you receive something, you're like, why did they gift me this? Something you did or said or something made them think that you would like that.
Or it shows you that this person is just focused on themselves,
right,
and they only think about, okay, what would I like? And this is what I give to others. Maybe it has nothing to do with you, but it shows you that you don't want to be like this. That you want to give people a gift that they love. And how can you know what I mean? Like, how can you change then? Because you cannot change other people. That's also, I think, a big energy drainer in families and relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we try to change another person. You can only change yourself. And being disappointed about what another person does is just because you expected something. But then maybe look at your expectations and your communication. Did you communicate your expectations? Did the other person, because this other person comes from a different background. There are two people meeting that come from a different background, that come from a different society maybe, and they meet. And you cannot expect the other person to know what's going on in your mind. But by trying to change this other person, we need to focus more on ourselves instead of judging other people and trying to change other people. Because so many people are it's also with the news that brought me to this, okay, we judge things and we get that it's normal to judge things. Like, what if everything has its purpose? And we should focus, first of all, focus on ourselves, instead of judging right away, judging everything that happens. Oh, the weather is bad. Why? The weather, it's rainy. Why is it bad? A plant would say, it's great, it's raining. Who are we to judge? And yeah, just keep this energy in and do something fun with it instead of judging.
That's a huge energy drainer also, is that expectation difference and you letting yourself be disappointed by other people so often. It is something that I've definitely noticed with my own expectations of others. They've gotten, unfortunately, rather low because I find that's what allows me to be happier.
Yeah.
If I have this unrealistic expectation of everybody I come into contact with, I'm going to think everyone in the world is stupid as hell. Because they don't have the knowledge I have, they don't have the whatever I have, they don't have the thought processes that I have. That's not how the world works. So I've kind of gotten to a point where unfortunately, not a great way to say it, I've lowered the bar on what I expect from other people, unless I know them to a degree where now I have higher expectations of that individual. So now I don't get pissed off when I get someone that cuts me off in the road. I'm like,
you never know the history.
They didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
They could have a item on board that would be inadvisable for me to create a reaction because they could react harder. i.e. if they had a gun in their glove compartment or something, the road rage incidences, that doesn't really affect you. They probably didn't actually mean to do that, so why get mad?
Yeah.
That could set your whole day off on a spiral now. Oh, I got cut off in traffic this morning by this jerk.
Well.
All right, well, they probably didn't mean to. Two, maybe they didn't have a choice. They're about to hit the person in front of them. A lot of things could happen, so let it go.
Fully.
You had a little phrase that you said, I think that was kind of related to that. What was it? It was related to the not worrying so much about other people's things.
Did I? Oh.
Yeah, it's okay. But not allowing those little moments in life where you're like, well, I expected people to see me here. It happens. There's blind spots in a car. It's a thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Just one example. But those pieces in life, don't let those little things eat at you, because it can be another huge drain on that battery.
Yeah. And you know, everyone went through a different experience. Some people, they might think this is the normal. This is the new normal, you know, but you see it in a different way. And I think everyone has something to give, and no one is here on earth, comes on earth and wants to do harm to others. I think it doesn't exist. Everyone tries their best in their ability. And if you know, you don't have to, if someone is doing harm to you, you don't have to, you just set your boundary, but you don't have to go into it. I think setting boundaries, that comes also to gut health a lot. Like, a lot of people suffer from gut health, and then we start first also with, besides of the gut check, microbiome check, but we also work on the setting boundaries. Most of my clients, they let their family drive them, they let, you know, they are so run by other people where they say like, yeah, but, no, but. Just communicate and your gut health will benefit from it. It's crazy. Everything is connected in our body. There's not, I mean, you know this with the fascia, like muscles, everything is connected.
It's all connected.
And yeah.
The universe is just a bunch of energy. If you really put it down,
Yes.
and that's kind of what I think we wanted to highlight with our chat today, is that at the bottom line, the universe is just different forms of energy that are existing. And if you find you're low energy, there's something in your battery that's not recharging every night while you sleep. Because that's what should be happening. You should be taking your 7 to 9 hours of sleep. We'll get on the right amount of dosage for sleep in just a second, because it is different for everybody. But that is when your body gets the chance for your mitochondria to recharge a little bit. They don't fully go to sleep. You know, we still are functioning as we're asleep, but things ramp down to like a 15% metabolic rate or something very minimal just to keep you alive. But that's your chance for your mitochondria to build up their storages of more ATP, more ease of executing those cellular processes that keep us alive. That sort of gets a little bit into what the Biooptimization Institute here can do, which is find ways to help recharge your mitochondria with cool new modalities. But the very first way to do that is just get better sleep.
Get your nervous system, yeah.
All the stuff in this room doesn't really add a ton if you're not already eating a little bit benefiting to your system. If you're not sleeping in a way that's helping recharge your body even a little bit, this stuff might help you sleep better, but it's not going to do it for you, right? These modalities can help improve the 1 or 3 or 5%, but eating is like 35% of the battle. Moving every day is another 35% of the battle. Sleeping is probably 25% of the battle, and that's like 5% for everything else. The modalities in here, the getting sunlight when you first get out in the morning, all those lifestyle things and all of that stuff is the 5%.
And this is also, that's what when you said like, okay, for sleep, what's the important thing? And I said, okay, the evening routine. But if we really go all in, like it starts in the morning. If you wake up and the first thing you do is going on your phone, you will not be exposed to sunlight, because we have a circadian rhythm. And it's like a rhythm that says, okay, now we start, and then we have the high energy, and then during the day it goes down until at night we can sleep. So if we don't start this rhythm with sunlight exposure, then it all takes like longer, and maybe we get energy during the day when we see the sun, and you know, and then we drink coffee, and then we mess it up because we have no energy. Then we fake the energy by drinking energy drinks. I see so many trainers out there, not here, thank God, but so many trainers with like energy drinks, and I'm like, this is not how you run. You know, like, so faking energy doesn't help with all your rhythms.
Things like sleep. Caffeine, they can be good as enhancements. But if you use it as the thing that wakes you up or as the thing that keeps you awake, you're just harming that cycle that she's talking about, the circadian rhythm stuff. You're spiking different adrenal hormones at different times that are going to release your melatonin now later. So the reason you can't fall asleep at 9 or 10 p.m. is because your melatonin's not due to turn on until about 12:30.
And then you take a spray, a melatonin spray, to mess it even more up.
So it's really understanding this sleep cycle that I think can be really, really crucial in understanding that cortisol is the opposite of melatonin. So this is another really big thing that people don't understand, and they're like, oh, cortisol is bad. Well, no, cortisol is there to help you be awake.
It wakes you up, actually. Yeah.
It can be excessive to a point that now you're stressed out and it's a problem. Yes, that's a thing. But we don't want the melatonin and the cortisol to get out of whack, because if the cortisol is not spiking until 10 or 11 a.m., it's about 16 hours until your melatonin cycle is due to click in, because it's an 8-hour, 16-hour cycle. You know, the average 8 hours for the sleep timing, 1.5-hour intervals.
Yes.
So that means 8 hours is trash.
Yeah.
8 hours, bad idea.
Yes.
7.5 or 9, not in between.
Depending if you wake up in between, then it starts again.
Yes.
So this is why it's always like very individual. If you wake up in the middle of the night because you have a histamine reaction or whatever it is that you don't even know what's going on, but then you start again another circle. So it's like, because you cannot really say like, okay, in 7.5 hours, then I will feel great. If you wake up in the middle of the night,
it can skew it a little.
Yeah.
So I try to get people to think about waking up in a window of time. Maybe set your alarm for the final amount of time that you could sleep until. But if you wake up 20 minutes before your alarm, you should probably just get up, because that's your body's cortisol already elevating and telling you, hey, I think I'm ready to wake up, and you're forcing it back to sleep while you hit the snooze button.
Ooh, yeah.
Now you got 90 minutes before you're gonna feel ready to re-spike the cortisol and get your day started. So hitting the snooze button, this is why you hear it so bad, is because you're reigniting the sleep hormones, but you only have 10 minutes till your alarm goes off. So now you just hit all these sleep hormones, but your alarm goes off in 10 minutes and you're like, oh, really groggy now. And now you just started your entire day low energy because you got your cycles out of whack. So there is an app called Sleep Cycle or something that I learned in college, and it helped me learn how to sleep, but it also helped me learn how to nap. Same rule with napping. 30 minutes is a good nap. 1 hour, terrible nap. You're gonna wake up in the middle of that sleep cycle every single time.
Yeah.
So you should either nap for 30 minutes or less. 10-minute naps, great. Good little recharge for the brain. It's not gonna be like a mitochondrial boost necessarily, but still effective. 30 minutes can still be effective. 45 minutes, terrible idea.
How does this?
1 hour,
that's
terrible
actually
idea.
Something I'm now curious, because if you nap for 10 minutes, but if you hit the snooze button for 10 minutes, what's the difference there then?
So when you're hitting snooze button for 10 minutes, you're kind of in a pretty close to sleepy state already. So it's really easy to just
go into the 1.5
go right
cycle.
back into a full like deep sleep right away.
Yeah.
If you're just laying down for a 10-minute nap, you're likely still a little wired. You probably didn't do your 2-hour before bed ritual, so you're not going to enter deep sleep that fast.
Yeah.
You just want to have a restful 20 to 30-minute nap before you hit deep sleep, because then you'll wake up energized.
Yeah, that makes sense.
People who take the hour nap, that's why, is you napped just long enough to hit deep sleep, but then it was time to get up again.
Yeah.
So now you feel like naps defeat you as the day goes on instead of help energize you for the rest of the day. Most of the world takes siestas. So like that's a normal functioning thing to be able to do that and be energized for the rest of the day. It's just understanding how to use that tool. And that's a great question, by the way. But that's the simplest way I would describe that.
Yeah, no, that makes totally sense.
But if you try that, you'll notice. Sleep for 10 or 20 minutes, you should feel really energized as a middle day nap kind of thing. Again, with the snooze button, we don't want that, because you're too easily going to enter a deep sleep, guaranteeing you're going to be groggy when you wake up. So
it's another thing that I use in my coachings a lot. Like, some people, they get so stressed when the alarm goes off. First of all, look at the alarm tone, like the music. If you get like shocked out of bed, your stress is so high that it's also not like you can say like, yeah, your cortisol goes up. No, this is pure stress. Yeah. This is pure stress. Like, I'm a big fan of these daylight alarms.
Where like a light comes on slowly.
And then you still wake up, but in a kind of natural way. I mean, that's what we all do. We try to fake nature to fit in our regulated life, right? Because we could go out, meditate, hug trees, go through like for hours a day, and we would feel energized. But in this life that we are living, it's not working like this. So we can imitate nature as good as possible, but without skipping nature. I think this is also a big thing, to go out.
Very big, very big. And the sleep thing can be sometimes a little complicated. The best thing you could do, though, is to just pay attention to your feelings while you're sleeping. When you notice your body temperature gets warm, that is your cortisol starting to go up. which is another sign to you, maybe I just wake up. If you start getting hot in the sheets, that's your cue. Your cortisol is telling you it's time to get up. Even if it's 20 minutes before your alarm, I encourage you just to get up or intentionally spend those next 20 minutes awake, but still in bed, meditating on your day. So like you're acknowledging, okay, I'm awake, my alarm's maybe got 20 minutes, I'm gonna enjoy this 15, 20 minutes. I'm not gonna fall back asleep, but I'm gonna just kind of think through a couple of things throughout today, or maybe something that happened yesterday. You can kind of take a couple minutes to just digest and integrate some social interactions or new movements you did yesterday, or anything that's not intentionally just falling back asleep to milk those 20 minutes, because it will end up biting you in the butt.
But also to make sure in the morning to think about, if you think about things that are related to you, not to the outside world, because you want the first thing in the morning, you want to fill up your tanks. This is why social media you shouldn't do, because you never know, or checking your emails in the morning. Yeah. You never know what is there. Like, it can be either good, then your day is good. If it's bad, your day starts bad. Like, no, do something that you're in control of, and this is your inner focus. Like, focus on the things, like one example, like focus on something you're really looking forward to today. Don't think about, oh no, I have this meeting today. Like, no. What is it that you are looking forward to? Right. What can lift your energy in the morning? Or what was really good last night? I make it a routine. Every night I think about what was really good today. And in the morning, what am I really looking forward to? And if there's nothing, then I can say, okay, what would I be looking for? And then to start asking you the right questions. Maybe it's just being grateful to wake up being healthy. You know, like there's little things that drain your energy already without, we talked about this, like our mind goes consciously or subconsciously into all the directions and gives away all the energy.
Yep.
And then we end up having no energy and we're wondering like, I didn't do anything. No, you were thinking.
Yeah.
And we forget about this. Yeah.
Good thing that I would add in as another option to think about in the morning, it could be, how am I going to make this day more likely to help me grow better for tomorrow? Whether that's, oh, when am I going to get my lift in today? Or when am I going to schedule my St. P. Cali class? Because I look forward to the mace class. Oh, it's Tuesdays, I get to do the mace class tonight. Now you're looking forward to the evening of movement, not looking at that meeting at 2 o'clock that's going to be a little tough to get through. You're finding that piece in the day that you, like you said, you look forward to, that excitement. Find the thing that excites you in the day. I think that's a good way to summarize that one. Or
the meeting, maybe wow, afterwards, I will definitely be a different person than before because I grew through this hard meeting. Because the hard times, if we focus on the hard times being hard, it makes it hard. Yeah. But no, the hard things, a friend of mine, she always says, like, Mel, you're too optimistic and too positive. But I think it's really important that we see things from the perspective of, hey, but what is the good part about it? I grow, I learn, and failing is not existing, because failure is just falling down and then you know how to stand up again. And I think this is a big part as well, like to start slowly to see also the good things in the hard things.
Totally. So we covered some mindset things with being honest with yourself and what you actually want, huge part. Nutrition a little bit, big part. Now maybe let's talk about some of the other lifestyle things I can do throughout the day that can help reset my sleep cycle, get me more energy in little moments throughout the day. Do you have any of those little tidbits that you tend to encourage your client focus on, even if it's one thing at a time? Maybe the sunlight in the morning is the first thing that we already mentioned, right?
I also like to start with like hydration in the morning. Like to, first of all, that's one thing most of the people don't know. Like during the night, your stomach and everything, you get detoxified. Everything. They tidy up your whole system, and then a lot of toxins get put on your tongue. So the first thing in the morning, before you drink, before you put anything in your mouth, like use a tongue scraper to get rid of the toxins, and then brush your teeth, and then get hydrated. I think this is so crucial too, and I like to do it with warm water. Perfectly, if you have the time, cook it for more than 10 minutes. I just heat it up in the water heater. And I boil it, and then I let it sit a little bit while I brush my teeth, and then I drink 2 big glasses of warm water. And all my clients, they do it, and they realize that there's such a big change in they heat up in the morning, which you said, the cortisol, your system gets activated, the warm water feels so good, you start feeling your digestive system waking up without getting the food first. No, wake up the system. And I think the hydration, because we lose so much water through the night.
People don't realize that at all. They're like, oh, I wake up and pee a few times, but you're exhaling water all night long. So
Yes.
yeah, you do tend to wake up pretty dehydrated. So I agree, that's a big first one. And then it being warm water, you absorb that water a lot faster than you do cold water, because it's already acclimatized to closer to body temperature.
Yeah.
So all of those are good bits and can really make a difference as far as just getting the day started on the right foot.
Yeah. I think also another thing is lymphatic, to get your lymphatic system going. It's like a little massage. If you have a lymphatic suit, do this. Or just stretching, like yoga, do something to activate your lymphatic system. Like there are these gua shas now. Yeah, you can do it in your face, but activate the lymphatic nodes first so it can really drain. And I think the lymphatic system is really important, the fascia, to just activate your body somehow. Yeah.
It's my plug for Animal Flow. It's probably the best thing you could do for like 2 minutes in the morning is just to do one little easy flow. That's going to turn your brain on. It's going to turn your stabilizer muscles on. It's going to open up your fascia lines. It's going to get the lymphatic system moving because some of it is inverting. You might be rotating around a little bit so the crystals in your ear can readjust from the night. There's a lot of good things that could come up from just a couple minutes of that in the morning. And we all have busy mornings, so the more efficient you can make these things that you add in, the better. So that's my one little plug for Animal Flow.
No, it's great. And even if you just stretch out in bed, this is already like, don't skip it just because you're stressed already. Like, be aware and just give yourself the stretch in the morning. It's so simple. Yeah.
And then what about coffee? When do I have my coffee? What's your take on that one?
You can do all the science. They say. I think the studies got proven wrong again that you should have it like later than 30 minutes after waking up. You shouldn't, and then you should have it. Like, I think everyone is so different, and it depends on your day. Okay, when do you work out? It's like what I realized in the work, and also I think, of course, like, you shouldn't have coffee in the afternoon. Like in Germany, it was always the grandmas. They ate coffee and they ate cake and drink coffee in the afternoon. This will mess up your sleep, even though, sometimes we think like, nah, coffee doesn't do anything to me. No, it does. It does. Even if you don't feel it, it will do something to your sleep quality. Maybe you fall asleep right away because you're so exhausted, because some people think, no, my sleep is great because I fall asleep right away. Maybe this is also more like bad sign because you're just exhausted and you just fall into bed and knock out.
And you're waking up still tired, which is your sign that you're not actually recovering anything, right? You're just idle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So coffee, I think, whatever fit, if you drink it, I'm a fan. I never drink caffeine anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
I was a bank manager for more than 8 years, and I was drinking like 10 cups of real coffee every single day. From the morning till the evening, I was always...
Just kind of coffee all day.
Yeah, every day. It kept me alive, I thought. Not knowing that it really run me down. But I drink no caffeine. But I think if you drink caffeine, it should be in the first start of the day, waking up.
Right.
What do you think?
I'm right on the money with you there. I think it should be an enhancement of your energy, not the energy. A lot of people wake up right away and have their coffee, and it's the thing that wakes them up. But if you can get your cortisol up and functioning and then have the little bit of coffee, maybe I think, Huberman likes the 1 hour to 90 minute window, which I'll still agree with that. That's probably a good marker. That should be a long enough time where your cortisol is up as high as it's going to get, and now your caffeine intake just amplifies it a little more. Or it's your pre-workout. If you're going to work out at 12 or 1, probably just in the window where it might be okay to still have some kind of caffeine as a pre-workout. But I agree, in the afternoon, probably not advisable to have any sort of caffeine, because of the sleep quality stuff. You might fall asleep, like she said, but it's not going to be a good sleep, and it's not going to be a recovered sleep. So yeah, think of it just like any of these other tools in our tool belt. We want to use it as it's intended, not abuse it. Most people, when they're drinking it right when they get up every morning, they're abusing it, and it's the thing that's getting them awake. Now, I definitely am one to also say the world is not ideal, right? So I will probably have my coffee sometimes 45 minutes to like an hour and 15 or so after I've been awake, but I try to not do it in that first 30 minutes at least, especially. But I'm up at 5 a.m. and I'm at work by 6 a.m. So like I don't have that 90th minute to be like, oh, halfway through my client, I'm gonna go grab my cup of coffee. So it's either I'm gonna wait till after my first client, or it'll be a little bit before my first client. But,
and if you like the taste, you know, for me that was the big thing. I really love the taste of coffee, and I went to decaf coffee now, and people say like, oh my God, how can you do this? But after a while, your taste buds, they change as well, and then you don't really recognize the difference. And this is just one thought, because some people don't think about decaf coffee. It's there, out there, and the one more thought that came, like if you train after work and you are like, oh, but I want my booster, I want to have my caffeine kick before the training. I was struggling a little bit with this when I had athletes in my coaching, and I was like, my way of doing it with them now is more like, okay, why do you need the booster? So it's not, but we think like, oh no, before a hard workout we need the booster. What if not? What if you are so energized? So we worked on sleep, and the booster was the first thing we had to leave in order to get the sleep done. So the first few workouts were shitty, of course, because give your body time to adjust. You know, just because you change something doesn't mean that you right away feel the energy. No, it's a process. And this is where it comes to coaches, to trainers, to lead someone through it, because you don't see results right away. It's a change. Give your body time to adapt. So if you let the booster gone and you're like, oh, but now my sleep should be so good that I have the energy. Yeah, give it a month.
Yeah, not 3 days, because then you're going to be like, oh, it didn't work, and then you're just going to go back to your old habits, and then you think it didn't work, but you really didn't give it the time to actually happen. I can see that one a lot too. The energy topic is a challenging one because there is so many different areas of it. Is it a nervous system thing? Is it a nutrient deficiency thing? Is it a chronically stressed environment that it has this person stuck in a rut with this? Is it something I need to seek out some of these extra helpful modalities, or should I spend my initial start kind of reassessing where I'm at, how I got here, and what lifestyle things I could change to maybe make the bigger impact before I go seek some of those more high-end, recently researched modalities that we're all super excited about. But if you're not doing the foundational stuff, it's not quite time for you to go into that next phase of things.
Or not only, because that's also what I see. People think they have to decide, do I do nutrition now, or do I do training now, or do I do sleep now? No, if you have a person on the side who knows what they are doing, you can do a little bit of something, but you focus on another thing. And then you don't have, you can use it all, do it in the right, prioritize it correctly. And don't prioritize the high-end things if the foundation is not there. But also, if you only work on the foundation, maybe you're so impatient that you stop it all. And this is also, you need to work with yourself. If you realize like my motivation goes low by just working on the foundation, okay, let's bring some excitement. Let's do some testings. Let's do blood tests, for example, gut tests, to see, because our brain is so strong that we need to calm it down sometimes. We have to work with it, not against it, and say like, no, brain, you're just now shut up, and we just focus on the basics. No. It's okay to have anxiety sometimes. It's good that you realize, oh, there's something that doesn't feel right. Okay, how can we work with this? Instead of just shutting it down and like, no, this is how we do it. Like, nah.
Body doesn't work quite that fast. It does take some time to notice some of these changes, and that sometimes can be the frustrating thing is you're like, oh, I've been good at this for so long, a week or two, and you're like, oh, it's not working yet. I'm like, well, recomposition takes time. Feeling the nervous system adapt to these new lifestyle changes takes time. Your body being able to digest something that it hasn't had to digest in a while can take a little time. So like if you were vegan for a while and then now you're not, it might take just a little bit of acclimating.
And the opposite way around as well.
Yeah.
So many people turn vegan and think like, oh, now I'm cured of everything. No. First of all, you start feeling great. I was vegan for 4.5 years, and you start feeling great because you just implement more veggies and stuff. So you change your diet, and the change itself make you feel good.
Yeah.
But then over the time, you really need to pay attention and to do it right.
You said you were 4 years that you were vegan?
4.5, yeah.
And then what did you notice was a sign that decided you to alter that again?
I was running on so many supplements because I did my blood test and my thyroid didn't work anymore that properly because my iron was so low. Because plant-based iron is not as absorbable as animal iron. And the supplements and all these, I was like, I'm taking so many supplements right now. I'm not feeling really great. Why am I still doing this? And I was craving more and more eggs. I didn't know why, like these cravings came up. I worked also while I was vegan. I worked a lot on myself, on like feeling myself. So I got more and more in tune with myself. And yeah, I just realized like I have cravings and my body needs nutrients. And yes, how do I give it to them now? Okay, I can try now to IVs. I can get, but I stand for natural.
Yeah.
I want to have it as natural as possible.
Yep.
And I just realized this is not who I really am. I know a lot about how can I supplement, how can I do this, but do I really want this? I'm like, I really enjoy having a good, and that's the thing, because I also did it for the animals, like, and then I realized like we all have to die, and I'm totally against these like, okay, how do you call it in English? The massive production
like
of
big farms and
big, yes,
that whole, yeah.
Like I'm totally not for this, and I think every animal, every soul in this life deserves a good life. So it's hard to pick, but I'm like, okay, I don't have to eat it as excessively as I did it before. I was only proteins, only chicken, meat, eggs, dairy all the time. And then I turned vegan, boom, I didn't have anything. And now I feel like I need to experience these extremes in order to now find a balance that works for me. And it's, I think, not only with food, I think, yeah, sometimes we need to experience extremes in order, but then don't stay in these extremes. These are just a help to realize where's the middle for myself. This is what I realized, and I can understand both sides now. The vegans that are really strong, like you have to be vegan, and the other ones. I was never like this though, because I always thought like I just eat vegan. I'm not a vegan. To identify with something.
Yeah,
because if you identify with something, it's so hard to quit this.
Yes.
And I've realized I went through so many changes in my life that I realized like I'm not this or this or this. I'm not identifying with anything outside anymore. I identify as myself. And being authentic to myself at this point meant I just want a steak. Is it right? I don't know. I will try. And I felt great. I went to a really nice restaurant where I know they have really high quality meat because I didn't want to do it myself, to prepare it myself.
Especially after 4 years of not cooking it, I'm sure, yeah.
It was really this emotional thing that, you also overcome this, like, I cannot have this, I cannot have this, and all of a sudden, I can if I have the choice. Because it's easy to fall into a diet, into a system where we get taught, don't do this, follow the rules. And I was good in following rules. This is why it was easy for me to go from all high protein, because I was following this athleticism, like a gym diet, And then I went to vegan, and vegan was, okay, I just have my rules and I stick to them and I feel good, and I tell myself I feel good. Maybe I didn't feel no, I feel good, You trick yourself because someone tells you. I watched a lot of documentaries, I went into the science, but science, science can change tomorrow because we find out something else. What's the real truth? And I think by putting others onto a trophy and say like they know the truth, we lose our own truth. And this is what I realized, like I need to find my own truth. It doesn't have to look good for others. It just has to feel good for me.
Yep, and it's the individual approach to nutrition that I think everyone needs to go through a little bit of your own journey. You know, I was vegan for less than 24 hours. My wife and I realized, we're like, yeah, this isn't going to be one that we can really do. As we were starting to explore that first day, we're like, man, I can't have that, I can't have that. It seems so restrictive. We were just like honest. We're like, all right, that's not going to work. Vegetarian, 3 months.
Okay.
Made it 3 months. I lost 10 pounds, not the right 10 pounds. I didn't feel good anymore. I was like, all right, it's tough for me to eat enough to get enough protein to continue fueling the activity that I'm doing. So I lost the wrong kind of weight. I felt like I actually lost, like muscle.
And you had to put it all into dairy as well, right? Mm-hmm. Then you shifted from having a wide range of proteins to just shifted to dairy.
Right.
Or some beans or something, but because beans you probably also just implemented a little bit, and then to have something in extreme, like especially dairy, has other factors then again,
Absolutely. So we did our own personal experiment. I got to see, how we lasted. I realized I didn't feel really good. I don't like the direction this was going for me, so I decided, all right, not necessarily my way of eating, but it should be based on how you feel and your energy levels and being honest with them. As you were saying, you can kind of trick yourself into telling yourself you feel good even when it maybe isn't quite the case. But I think there's a lot of new good that will hopefully come with this food pyramid change and helping both of those extreme sides hopefully come to terms with maybe not everyone has to eat carnivore.
Yeah.
Because not everyone has an autoimmune disease that is benefited by a carnivore diet. That is good for some people, for sure. Vegan, same thing. Some people actually have like allergies to protein types. If you're one of those people, then you probably have to eat vegan.
And if you become one of those, like then really learn about it. Because if you just eat beans then, like I did it, I got bloated the first month fully because I just ate, instead of meat, I shifted all to beans. My gut was not prepared. And also I prepared them not correctly. You need to soak them for 12 to 24 hours. There are things that you need to know. And then still I think that's also a thing, don't be afraid of doing the wrong things, because this is also not, okay, you don't have to choose, or you have to know now what you feel is good. Learn it step by step, because now that we talk about all these things, maybe people think like, but I cannot feel myself. Start small. We all started small, and we try and error.
You got to be your own scientist. I know that's a big thing with the Biooptimization Institute here. Do the blood work ahead so you know where your markers are. That's the only way you can know if the diet you're on is helping move your markers in the right way. If you are confused about what you should be doing, that's the best place you can start. Get some accurate blood work. Start dissecting it from there.
Gut test maybe,
You mentioned having some of these cravings. Well, I think I can say the steak craving was definitely probably the iron thing. I think you acknowledged that one. And then the eggs, choline.
Oh yeah.
Choline in eggs is so necessary for your brain chemistry and your neurotransmitters to be able to fire. So one thing that I've seen, and I've had a number of clients that kind of realize this, I think, what's his name? Max Lugavere. I don't know if you know of him.
I'm really bad with names.
He's a nutritionist guy who kind of focuses on dementia and Alzheimer's because his mom had it really bad. And he was like, my mom's vegetarian or vegan, but she got these super early onset dementia, in her 50s, it was already presenting. And he realized after doing some of this research that it was because she was eating that type of way that she was not getting the choline from eggs. She's not getting these other nutrients from some of the meats that can be very beneficial for the brain. A lot of times when you're eating vegan or vegetarian, you're not getting enough fats. The brain needs fats to feel good and feel energized. And when you eat decades and decades of vegetarian or vegan, if you're not supplementing it with the right things, which, she was probably eating this way in the 70s and 80s, so they didn't really know a whole lot about this at the time, but eating that way for decades and not supplementing properly can lead to neural degeneration and some of these other things that we're starting to find out is happening more and more with the hormones in the food and some of these other not desirable things that are happening with our food culture.
Yeah.
It's really starting to become more and more accessible, this knowledge of, if you eat this type of way, you might need a supplement with this. But in my head, if you have to supplement with something, it might not be the right diet in the first place.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting correlation there, which, like before we had the ability to supplement, you only had what was available to put in your mouth, right? There was no extra exogenous things that you could really do. Now we have this ability to play with molecules and do chemistry, and we have this ability to tweak nature a little bit. Our bodies aren't really used to a lot of that. So we're still finding, I just had someone mention, I need a quadruple check on this one, but something about stevia. One little possible negative effect of stevia now, where we thought that was the great natural sweetener that doesn't have any side effects. I think there's something that people are starting to find hormonally happening with people who overdo it on the stevia.
Yeah.
So anything in excess can have an issue, even if we think it's the most natural thing. And that's where I try to take the evolutionary approach. Humans are opportunistic omnivores. That means we can eat anything because we were at one point forced to eat whatever was around us. Understanding that should hopefully correlate to I can eat a little bit of this side of things and this side of things, and it doesn't have to be all one side or all the other, but that gradient. Some people will do better skewing slightly more plant-based. Some people will do better skewing a little more animal-based. If you're dealing with Crohn's and something along those lines, a liquid diet is usually recommended for folks like that because it's the breaking down of the molecules that you have a hard time with. When you blend stuff up, it breaks down those bonds already, so
the first digestive step is done already.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's different ways based on what you've been experiencing that can help you get better. It's just understanding the science project that is you and taking the effort to do something about it, and then finding the right people.
Yeah.
Find the right people that can help educate you on the right things to pay attention to. I'm
you
realizing
don't have to go through it alone. That's the thing, because this puts so much pressure on you because you cannot know it all. Yep. No one knows it all. We all are just trying our best.
And I'm still learning stuff about the body after studying it for 12 or 13 years now. So there's going to be new stuff still coming out that I'm going to have to keep learning as we do more and more science.
And that's another thing, like we need to stop thinking that we know it all. We are just trying to understand the amazing things that are happening in our bodies. So if we put a doctor on the trophy, do you say trophy or how do you say?
Pedestal.
A pedestal. If you put anyone there or any study or whatever, we are so much more than this. We just try to explain things. So if we just get away from the thought that we know it all or certain people know it all, then it will make our life so much easier, and we start to explore again ourselves and to not put the responsibility to others, make it easy for us, and then complain about why is it not working. Take responsibility.
It results in you becoming very closed-minded. When you think you know it all, you're not open to new information, and then that means you're never going to be open to changing your mind when better information is out there. And I think that's something a lot of us have kind of seen with the political side of things, is people are getting very much attached to their one side of things, so much so that they're not critically thinking about what's actually happening and creating any possibility that maybe they were wrong about what they thought originally amongst this new evidence, whether it's nutrition or insert topic here. New information should encourage you to reassess your beliefs. If you're so I know everything that no new information could possibly change my mind, then you're gonna be left behind by the world as it continues to evolve, and you're just gonna be sitting here thinking, I'm upset, this isn't the way the world should be going, and now you're just stewing in this stressful displeasing of what the world is doing around you because you think it should be one way.
And the energy goes, and then you get sick, feel bad, and
it's all over.
Then you're wondering, and then sometimes we have to hit the bottom in order to change.
Turn a little bit.
Yeah. But we don't need this. We don't need to hit the bottom.
We're trying to help you from having to hit the bottom.
Yeah.
Start finding the actionable items you can do right away. I feel like there's a lot more we can talk on this topic about.
Yeah.
I just realized we're kind of at your hard cutoff time, so we'll wrap it up here. But we will definitely have you on again because there's plenty more we can talk about with these sides of things and the lifestyle elements that can really help us get past these plateaus that we may feel that we're in. So
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Return to Play podcast, and we've had Melanie here enlightening us on a lot of the cool energy systems and ways that we can try and improve those energy systems. So we thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.